Hey everybody, Kevin here. Thank you guys for joining me on Kevin's Way Works. In front of me here I have my 2011 Dodge Challenger. So this thing has a busted gauge cluster and it needs to come out. So stay tuned and I'll show you how to do this Kevin's way. So the first thing we need to do is remove this little panel right here. So it's just as simple as grabbing up under here and giving it a little tug. Bring your fingers down here, give it another tug. And it's held on with those two clips. And that's it. So that guy's removed. And the next step is going to be to remove this little screw right here. And keep track of your screws because they are not all identical. So you just want to make sure you're putting them back in the same place. And there's that one right there. All right, there's another screw underneath. Let me position you and we'll get that one removed next. And right over here, I'd say about a third of the way over, is the next one you have to take out. And that one is also a Phillips tip. And there's that one. All right, the next step, we need to take this bottom panel off. The easiest way to do that is just take your fingers, kind of pull this out a little bit, and pop back. And right here there are two clips on this side, and on the other side there are also two clips. So let's go ahead and pop those out. All right, on this side there are actually two clips. There's one down here and there's one right here. I'm going to disconnect this one on the bottom first just by giving it a gentle tug out. And then once that's out, you can stick your fingers in here, kind of rock it a little bit, and undo the top clip. All right, now that we have that panel loose, let's go ahead and disconnect the trunk release. And to do that, you just push in, there's a little clip right here. So I'm pushing it with my thumbnail, so push that clip in and just remove that connector. So you can see right here, you just press where that little knob is sticking up. Just press that in and that releases the clip. And so now that that's out, if you want, you can remove that parking brake. It's really not a big deal, so I just set this down out of the way. All right, guys, let's get the last screw. That guy's right here. Let's go ahead and get that one out. All right, next thing to do is remove that stop-start button. And this guy is not in there very tight. It's pretty easy to remove, so just take a trim removal tool, pop it behind there. And there it goes. So that comes out real easily. You can pop it out with the panel if you want, but just to avoid damage, I like to pop it out beforehand. All right, guys, to get this out, just reach your fingers up under here. There's a little gap. Give it a little tug, like so. And that'll disconnect the clips that are down here. These clips are not in too tight, like they are on some vehicles. And so just slowly work your way around, popping those out. There are other clips are on the other side, so let me position you over there and we'll get the last clips out. Now that we have the upper part of the bezel disconnected, let's go ahead and remove the last clip, which is right about here. So hold your panel, give it a pull out. And the panel is now disconnected. Alrighty, now that that panel is completely disconnected, let's remove it from the car. So just slowly pull it out, try not to scrape anything with it. And there it is, set it somewhere out of the way where it won't get broken. Next thing we need to do is remove the screws around the cluster. But before we do that, I like to magnetize my screwdriver. So I just have this magnet. You can get yourself any strong magnet. This one's from a hard drive. And I'm just gonna magnetize the tip of the screwdriver. As you see, it holds the screw pretty good as you're removing them. So let's go ahead and get those screws out. All right, guys, the first screw we have is right here. Let's go ahead and get that guy out. There's the first one. The next one is right down in here. And you can see why we magnetized our screwdriver. The next screw is deep down in here. Try not to drop them. If you need to, get yourself one of those magnetic extension wands. I'm just carefully doing it with my screwdriver and I'm getting lucky here. That magnet is holding up. And last, this one right here. These things are a little tight. There we go. There we go. And that's the last one. Now that those are all out, let's go ahead and move this steering wheel down. To do that, you release the lever, pull it out and down. Mine was already out all the way, but just to get it out of the way, I pulled it out and down as far as it'll go. All right, now that we have all 4 screws out, let's see if we can get this cluster removed. So first thing I want to do is protect my vehicle here from scratches, so I'm going to put this towel kind of right about there. Now what you're going to do first is gently pull this guy back like this and tilt it, and it should start sliding outward. Be careful not to scratch that plastic. And now that you've got it out about that far, kind of set it right about there, and we'll proceed with removing the connectors. Okay guys, I hope those connectors are visible. So what we're going to do is right here, there's a clip, and then right here, there's a clip. So we're going to push down on that clip and pull out. So as you can see, you just push down like that and pull out. Now be careful with these guys, they're sticky. This coating on here is sticky. So let's go ahead and do the same with that. Push down, kind of wiggle it a little bit, pull it out. So there's that one. And there's another one on the other side. Okay, I think you guys can see that. So this one's a white connector. I'm just going to lift it up so I have better access. You're going to push down on this clip, like so, and pull out. So there's that clip. So now that those are removed, we can pull this cluster out. Okay. Now this is the hard part, guys. Grab your cluster firmly, lift it up and out, trying not to scratch anything. There she is, nice and removed. There's the front side. There's the back side. Okay guys, that is how you do it. That is how you remove the gauge cluster from a 2011 Dodge Challenger. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I really hope you found it helpful. And if you did, it would be awesome if you could give it a like and subscribe. And thank you guys for watching. Kevin's Way Works. Uh-oh.